For more than 30 days, Toronto stank, literally. The city's unionized workers were on strike. That meant no city daycares, island ferry service, parks and rec, no wedding permits, and no garbage pickup. But that didn't stop one Toronto man from making a good thing out of a bad situation.
There's definitely poop in these. That positive thing that we were trying to achieve was just to take some attention away from the aggression, the anger, the negativity, and to say, listen, if this is going to happen, maybe there's an opportunity here to take some of that negativity and do something really positive with it.
And so Ryan Taylor became the trash man. He and a group of friends agreed that for $10 a bag, they would collect people's garbage at night and deliver them to the city's temporary dump sites.
And the cool thing with having the internet as a resource is that we were able to take kind of an idea that happened on like a Thursday night. We got it out okay on the Friday, and on the Saturday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, we were driving around the city picking up people's trash, and we'd already raised that night was about $250.
And that $250 went directly into the coffers of War Child Canada, a humanitarian organization that helps children in war-torn countries. James Topham is communications director.
War Child works with children affected by conflict in 7 countries worldwide, including Congo, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Georgia, and Uganda. We protect children's rights, provide them with an education, and give them life skills so that they can build a brighter future.
Originally founded in the UK by Dr. Samantha Nutt, War Child Canada opened its doors 10 years ago, though they'd hoped to be out of business by now, Topham says.
Well, children are the innocent victims in any conflict, and yet increasingly they're the victims. We have a moral responsibility to protect their rights.
But picking up trash to help kids a world away is an unusual way to fundraise.
My initial gut reaction was that it was a crazy but somehow inspired fundraising idea. I'd had no idea whether it would catch on or work, but I should have known better with Ryan that he would somehow get the word out.
But it's exactly that out-of-the-bag thinking that brought Taylor and Topham together when they both attended a conference designed to teach nonprofit organizations how to creatively fundraise.
And about a week later, he called me up and said, I've got this idea. I want to pick up garbage through the night and get people to make donations to War Child. Are you in? And I just said yes. Without really thinking it through. And then it just took off in a just crazy way. The community just clearly caught the imagination of the Toronto community.
And in just under 7 days, the Toronto community helped Ryan collect almost $2,000 for War Child Canada. And at $10 a bag, that's a lot of garbage. So why do it?
You see opportunities like this as a moment for you to do some good, and you just kind of do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of, you're just compelled to actually do something that's not just talk, not just, just kind of bluster about doing good, but actually to go out and demonstrate it by picking up nasty, dirty garbage.
Sadly, the trash man came to a halt just 7 days into their unusual initiative.
What we were doing was, in fact, in violation of the Environmental Protection Act. So we didn't know this, and I think maybe 99% of your viewers probably didn't know this, but if you take someone else's garbage, your neighbors, there are exceptions like your mom or elderly or disabled, but if you take your neighbor's garbage to a provincial dump site, it's actually illegal, and you need a certificate to do so.
And that certificate costs $500, money Ryan felt would be better spent elsewhere.
Because we chose to do this not for profit but for charity, and because we invested a lot of our own time and money into getting it started, we couldn't justify that $500 not going directly to the charity. So we decided to put an end to the program and shoot a thank you video. Unfortunately, the Ministry of Ontario has decided that we need a certificate to transport our neighbors' garbage, so we've decided to switch sides.
Garbage isn't the only thing occupying Ryan's time. He's also a jeweler, and he's getting ready to incorporate both his faith and his work by starting his own ethical jewelry company. Ryan's shop, the Fair Trade Jewelry Company, sources gold and platinum from the Choco region of Colombia and uses it to custom make engagement jewelry here in Canada.
We're working on a made local concept, but the products we source are ethically sourced from the raw material. So anybody that buys a ring from us, we can actually tell a person exactly where the gold came from.
And where the gold comes from is important, he says, both for the environment and the communities from where it's sourced. While many people have heard of blood diamonds, very few, he says, know about the latest movement, ethical mining.
In the industrial scale of mining, large machinery is used, large areas of land are destroyed. What's happening is a lot of mining companies are going into the rainforest and basically decimating it. Mining by its very name is an extraction-based process, so it can never be sustainable. But what it can do is by them not using mercury, they're not polluting the communities around them.
And the communities he's talking about are located here, in the northwestern region of Colombia called the Choco. It's home to the descendants of African slaves known as Afro-Colombians.
So there's an Afro-Colombian community in the Choco which have been given native land rights. And we're working with that community right now so that they can protect their own land, but also that they can create a sustainable industry like forestry, farming, and that sort of thing.
In order to mine the gold without machines, the Choco communities practice artisanal mining.
And they actually use an erosion technique, so they actually use water to wash out these kind of minor small hillsides, and then they go through a series of almost like aqueducts or grades. The really neat thing about them doing like a hand-based extraction technique, like using nets and filters and panning, is that it takes them a very long time to move through an area mining, and it gives the area behind it time to kind of recuperate, and it gives them time to plant trees.
And to make sure the communities are paid well for their gold, Ryan joined forces with the Green Gold Corporation. The company helps negotiate fair trading prices between Western jewelers and the Afro-Colombian communities in the Choco.
So what we do is we pay a fair trade fee that's pre-negotiated for gold and platinum. So they receive something up front. So we pay market rate, which is already more expensive than what people would buy here from like a smelter or somebody. And then we pay a percentage on top of that.
And he's taking it a step further. He intends to give back even more to the communities involved.
What we want to do is actually start to focus on the education there. What we've decided to do is on every ring, including the diamonds and the gemstones that we sell with it, we're putting a percentage back into a development fund with the community. Our percentage that we're giving back to them as of right now is 15%, and we're actually working towards a 50-50% model.
Doing this won't be easy or cheap, but Ryan says when it comes to his shop, he'd have it no other way.
I think that going at business from a faith-based kind of standpoint, having a lot of ethics involved, being transparent, being very community-focused, and basing, all the kind of concepts that the church kind of instills in you from a very young age, it makes doing business easier, and it makes the business of doing good easier.
And the business of doing good, he says, is changing his faith and relationship with God.
I like to say God and I have a quiet understanding because we like to chat. But I find I just talk more and I trust more. And every time I trust, I find I get given a little more. Like I'm allowed to be a little bit more free in my kind of crazy ideas, and they succeed. And it's kind of cool.
While he admits making jewelry is more fun than picking up smelly trash, he hopes that through the trash man and his shop, more people will begin to think outside of the box or bag when it comes to raising money for charity and doing business.
I'd like to influence the way other businesses look at the way they approach, for lack of a better term, it's like saying the business of good, whether that's changing the way their products work and they go to market, whether that's how they invest their time rather than just cutting checks to a charity, but investing both time and money into a charity to show that they support it.
To find out more about the Fair Trade Jewelry Company and War Child Canada, visit crossroads.ca and click on guest information. In Toronto, Ontario, I'm Bridget Antwi for 100 Huntley Street.